Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. In this video I will rate and compare all dollar and some event missiles in this game. Let's begin! First up is the JHGB missile. This epic missile is obtained through the event pass in last June's event. With 26,000 damage and 14.7 seconds reload time at max stats, it has a really low damage output. But what makes this missile worth to use is because it has manual or laser-guided controls like the Wave Rider, which means it is immune to flares. But this missile is better than the Wave Rider because it has a lot more health, thus it has a lower chance of being intercepted. Like all laser-guided missile, you can do a meteor trick to fool your target's anti-air. This is done by letting your missile go vertical and aiming back after a brief period. With all being said, I'll put this missile on A, because it is free and better than Wave Rider. Next is the Type 17 SSM. It can be bought using 1,000 gold from the dollar shop. This missile battery fires 2 projectiles at each salvo, which deals around 15,000 damage per projectile. With 7.35 seconds reload at max stats, this missile has a quite high DPM. With 70 points of projectile health, it has a high chance of reaching its target. Thanks to its short reload time, this missile excels at overwhelming enemy air defense and baiting flares, making its target prone to slower missiles or missiles with higher payloads. It is recommended that you use this missile at short or medium ranges, because it has a moderate speed. I'll give this missile an A rank. Third, we have the JHGB. This missile has an underwater launch capability, which means that it can be launched from submarines when diving. It has 7.35 seconds reload time and 10,400 damage at max stats. Keep in mind that it fires 2 projectiles per salvo, which makes it good at overwhelming air defenses. But its weakness is that it has a low projectile health, which makes it unreliable to be used as a main damage dealer or spam strategy. After a lot of experiments, I found out that this missile pairs best with Bava, JL3, or Tridon. Because of its underwater launch capability, it can be used to bait flares or soak up air defenses before delivering a high payload missile. Overall, this missile deserves a B rank. Next up is the Type 40 JHGB missile. It is a legendary dollar missile with 7.7 seconds reload time and 27,300 damage at maximum stats. With these stats, it has a quite high DPM. This missile excels at medium to long range fights, thanks to its maximum projectile speed, which is the highest among other missiles in the game. The only downside of this missile is that it has a low starting speed and projectile health. It is best to pair this missile with Atmica, Type 17, JHGB, or other bait missiles. It is recommended that this missile is used in a ship that has multiple missile slots to ease baiting flares while dealing damage effectively. This missile goes to A rank. Next on the list is the Type 7 SUM, which possesses the capability to lock on submerged targets. With 7.91 seconds of reload time and 10,400 damage per projectile at maximum level, it is quite a threat to submarine users. To make this missile even better, it fires 2 projectiles per salvo. Like all anti-sub missiles, it has to get close to the target before submerging to reach its target. This is where all anti-sub missile is prone to anti-air shots from nearby enemy ships. Thankfully, this missile has 50 points of health, which is half of YU-8's health. Considering it is a free missile, it deserves a B rank. Next up is the RBS-15 missile. It is a dollar missile that has 7.7 seconds of reload time and 17,500 damage at max stats. It fires 2 projectiles at once, which makes this missile has considerably high DPM. Though this missile may seem like it has nothing special, it is one of the best entry-level missile. What makes this missile special is that it has quick lock-on time and great acceleration. This missile is best used to distract enemy air defenses, or it can also be used as a main damage dealer thanks to its high DPM and mediocre projectile health. I'll put this on B rank. Next on the list is the JL-3 missile. This missile is originally built for a submarine so that it has an underwater launch capability. With 33,000 damage and 11.2 seconds reload time at max stats, it can be considered as Tridon's little brother. With 210 projectile health, it is quite a challenge to intercept a barrage of this missile. Though it has high projectile health, it is recommended to use a bait missile before delivering it to the enemy. When compared to the Tridon missile, this missile wins at acceleration and top speed stats. With all being said, the JL-3 fits the B rank. Next is the YJ-18 missile. This missile has a 6.3 second reload and 23,400 damage at max stats. With those main stats, this missile is quite scary for new players at level 15. It's because of the short reload and ability to quickly overwhelm air defenses. For your information, to counter any missile spam effectively, you'll need to equip missile-type air defenses, such as Uragan or C-RAM. Although this missile is slow and only has 85 points of health, it is still a pain to face an endless barrage of this missile, especially if you're low on health and seeking for cover. For higher level players, this missile is nothing more than a mosquito because it is very easy to destroy it with laser-type air defenses. So, as a player who started playing it 2021, I'll put this on C rank. Because it is obsolete at high levels. Next up is the Granite. Although this missile can be bought using dollars, it has the highest damage in the game. Each of this missile deals 58,000 damage with only 10.5 seconds of reload. This is extremely deadly as it only needs 4 to 5 missiles to sink an entry-level ship at level 15. Luckily, this missile is slow and can easily be intercepted because it only has 225 points of health. If you're using this missile, launching a bait missile is a must because this missile is really slow, which makes it vulnerable to air defenses. Overall, the Granite ranks at B rank. Next on the list is the epic Chinese hypersonic missile, the DF-17. This missile has a similar main characteristics of a rare missile. With only 23,000 damage and 7 seconds reloaded maximum, this missile looks like a rip-off. But in reality, it is not. What makes it worth is that it has a lightning speed, just like the JHGB. But just like any other dollar missiles, it has some weaknesses. Having a really small projectile health and slow acceleration makes this missile a bit hard to use for new players. With all of those statistics, I can say that this missile is all about speed and nothing more. So, this missile is best used to support teammates at long ranges, and any medium to close range fight should be avoided. If you have mastered this missile, you can time your shots so that the enemy can't counter or evade your missiles. I'm going to give this missile an A. Next up is the Bava missile. This missile has a nuclear warhead with an underwater launch ability. At max stats, it deals around 53,000 damage with 19.8 seconds of reload time. The Bava also deals damage at a certain radius when it hits its target, or sometimes, when it chases countermeasures. What makes this missile scary is that it can be launched from underwater, which makes it hard to spot and apply countermeasures at the right moment, especially when dealing with bait missiles or spam attacks. With 200 points of durability, it is quite a challenge to destroy this missile before reaching your ship. The downside of this missile is its eternal reload time and super slow speed, which makes it really vulnerable to anti-air, especially when several ships are near each other. Overall, this missile fits in C class. Next up is the Tridon II missile. It has a 15.4 second reload time and 44,000 damage at maximum stats. This missile has an underwater launch capability, just like the Bava and JL-3. What makes this missile special is that it has an area of effect type of damage, although it doesn't carry a nuclear warhead. This missile is just the same as any other high-damage long reload type missile, which needs to be paired with a bait missile, and which is why it suits best in a submarine. This missile is actually slower than the JL-3, so you should be able to counter it easily. With all being said, I'll put this missile on C. Next on the list is the High-Core Hypersonic Missile. With 31,000 damage and 8.75 seconds of reload time, this missile packs quite a punch. Compared to other hypersonic missiles, the High-Core has the most damage at its class. The only downside is that it only has 40 points of projectile health, which makes it unusable at close ranges. This missile is best used by fast ships like the Sword Ship or other hit-and-run ships. Overall, this missile suits the A class. Next up is the X-35 missile. This is my favorite missile when I first reached level 15, as it has a 6.65 second reload and fires 2 projectiles at each launch. While it only has 13,000 damage per projectile, it can overwhelm your enemy's air defense quickly. Though it has short reload and mediocre damage, it really lacks speed and acceleration, which makes it prone to countermeasures and air defenses. This is why it is recommended to launch this missile in barrages or applying spam tactics. This missile suits the C rank. Next is the RIM 161 anti-air missile. This entry-level anti-air missile has 11,700 damage and 4.9 seconds reload time at max stats. With an almost instant lock-on targeting system and 90 projectile health, this missile is quite annoying to entry-level aircraft carriers. With more than 11,000 damage per projectile, it can one-shot most fighters, strike fighters, helicopters, and even drones, while bombers can only survive 2 or 3 hits from this missile. But keep in mind that this missile is not recommended to be used against ships because it is extremely weak against air defenses. After playing this game for a while, I found out that the best use of this missile is to grind battle pass missions in offline mode. In online modes, this missile isn't really worth to be used. I'll put this on C rank. Next on the list is the Swarmer anti-submarine missile. Just like the Type 7, it possesses the capability to target submerged targets. This missile launches 3 projectiles per launch with 7,200 damage each and 8.75 second reload. This missile is really dangerous to submarine or ships that doesn't have grenade launchers, as they are defenseless against this missile when it transforms and dives into a torpedo-like projectile. But this missile is really weak against air defenses, which makes it absolutely useless when used against ships with strong air defenses. This missile is almost useless at high tiers, as there is no ship that has weak air defenses. Overall, this missile suits the D class. Next is the YJ-21 missile. This missile got a crazy rework recently, which makes it a monster at high tiers. With 37,000 damage, 10.15 second reload, hypersonic speed, and 100 projectile health, the developers just made this missile overpowered. At its maximum speed, only countermeasures can save its target from getting hit. Just 3 hits from this missile can really ruin your enemy ship, as it can take a huge chunk of health at a blink of an eye. To minimize the threat of this missile, you will need a high-damage air defense like the C-RAM or Uragan. Remember, this is only to minimize, as it doesn't fully counter it. Without further saying, this missile easily ranks on top. Next up is the YJ-12 AA missile. With a 7-second reload time and 14,000 damage per projectile, it is quite an annoying missile. This missile launches 2 projectiles at each launch with 35 health points each. Though it doesn't seem like a beast, this missile can still inflict chaos and slowly eat out chunks of its target's health in a short time. With that reload time, you can spam it, especially if you're using a multi-missile slot ship. I found out that this missile is best used as a bait for tanking a higher payload missile. This missile suits at the A rank. Next is the Champ missile. This missile has a 6.3-second reload with 23,000 damage. When this game just came out, this missile is immune to countermeasures just like stated in its description. But for unknown reasons, this missile is nerfed, which makes it completely useless after that. The only good thing of this missile is that it has 200 points of projectile health. But in conclusion, this is one of the missile that I don't recommend you to purchase, as there are lots of other missiles with the same price that has better stats. I'll put this on C class. Next is the X-51 Waverider missile. This missile is laser guided and, just like other laser guided missiles, is immune to countermeasures. With 17.5 seconds reload time and 31,000 damage, this missile isn't really worth to be used. Since its last nerf, it looks like the developers really hate this missile. They only gave this missile 7 points of health, which results in almost every missile can be destroyed by even the weakest air defense. Using this missile needs precise aiming, timing, and of course, a lot of luck just to land a hit on your targets. So, it is recommended to pair this missile with bait missiles, or even launching multiple Waveriders. Overall, this missile suits the B rank. Next up is the Prometheus anti-air missile. This missile battery has the capability to launch 2 missiles in a single launch with 6,700 damage each and 4.55 second reload time. Before the devs added the RIM 174, this missile is used to be the best option for level 20 players. Since it has a unique missile trajectory, incredible acceleration, and a considerably cheap price, this missile is an optimal choice for beginners to quickly finish battle pass missions or to counter bombers. Another good thing is that this missile has a really short reload and lock-on time, which makes it spammable since it is susceptible to countermeasures. The only bad thing about this missile is its low durability, which makes it really easy to be destroyed by air defenses. Overall, this missile is quite useful in offline mode or if you're playing in a squadron. I'll give this missile a B rank. Next on the list is the Broomstick missile. This missile is obtained through last year's community goal event. The overall stats of this missile is almost similar to Scalp Naval. With 26,000 damage and 7.7 second reload time, this funny-looking missile is not to be underestimated. It has a slightly higher maximum speed than Scalp, which makes it more dangerous to unaware players. There's nothing special about this missile except it produces a weird sound when it is launched. This missile sits at B. Next is the Mk2E missile. With 22,750 damage and 6.5 second reload at maximum level, this missile is one of the best missile at low tiers. Although it only launches 1 projectile per shot, it can quickly overwhelm air defenses since it has a quite high projectile health among other same class missiles. The downside of this missile is its price. With only $900,000 you can buy YJ-18, which has even better overall stats than this $3.7 million overpriced missile. Since I rarely use this missile, let me know in the comments if it has a hidden feature or ability. Since this missile is unnecessarily expensive, I'm rating it D. Next up is the RIM 174 anti-air missile. With 13,000 damage and 4.2 second reload, this missile is arguably the best anti-air missile in this game. With 125 projectile hit points, this anti-air missile is even quite effective to be used against surface targets. Another thing to be noted is that this missile has insane acceleration, which makes it extremely deadly to air units. At 0.25 seconds, the lock-on time of this missile is also the fastest among any other missiles in this game. The only downside of this overpowered missile is that it comes with a nasty price of 1500 gold. I personally recommend you to buy this missile since it really helps at finishing battle pass missions in just a few matches. This missile deserves the top rank.
Distance 520.
The last missile on this video is the Scalp Naval. This GOAT missile has 28,600 damage and 7-second reload time at maximum upgrade stats. With 150 hit points, this missile is quite hard for common air defenses to intercept, which is why at high tiers, it is recommended that you mix your air defense types and use special ones such as lasers. With these stats, this missile is really dominating high-rank battles and tournaments. If you happen to face this missile, hiding behind high covers might be a good idea since Scalp Naval is a cruise missile which flies near the surface and has a low missile trajectory. This missile simply fits the S rank. So that's it for this video. Do note that this ranks are based on my own opinion and experience. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to leave a like or comment because your support matters. Thank you for watching.